The Black String is a brand new 2021 horror film that I watched tonight, and it stars Malcolm in the Middle, or Agent Cody Banks, or Frankie, whatever the fuck his last name is. Muniz, fuck, however you say this guy's last name. I don't know. I'm not super familiar with the guy. But this is about a late 20s, early 30s, somewhere in that area. He works at a liquor store. He defends it and calls it something else, something funny, but I can't remember exactly what he says. But we'll leave it for you to have that moment in the film. And he's not really doing a whole lot with his life, and he's kind of a loser. And he hasn't had a date in a while. And so one night he's watching late night television, and an ad for a singles hotline, a 1-900 number. Are any of you old enough to remember 1-900 numbers? Call for like $3 a minute and you can have phone sex with people. But for this one, it's a singles hotline. It still says $3 a minute, so I'm not really understanding that. Like, a singles hotline would be like, I call in, they set me up with someone, but I guess that's $3 a minute to set it up. Whatever. But he gets set up with this chick, and of course his friend at the liquor store, who's pretty fucking funny, actually. He's probably the highlight of the film. I actually find most of his dialogue in this to be kind of like laugh out loud funny. I actually laughed out loud a few times with what he said, so he's definitely the highlight of the film. Anyways, he calls him out like, what are you doing, whatever. And he shows up, and this girl is very attractive. And he goes home with her, and things happen. And when he wakes up in the morning, he finds a rash on his body that he starts to freak the fuck out about. And when he goes to confront her, he cannot find her. And this leads him down a path of desperation and darkness. And we find out that he has a history already, which does not play to his advantage in this scenario. And his life just kind of gets turned upside down because of this one night stand he has with a singles hotline girl. And this gets supernatural. Kind of reminded me a little bit of the movie Contracted. Some kind of STD thing going on here, which is scary into itself, right? You don't even need to add the horror elements, and STD on its own is fucking terrifying. So, but overall, I liked it. I thought it was a good time. I was definitely invested enough to get through it, and at the end of it, I felt entertained. Malcolm in the Middle, Frankie, he's good. He looks pretty rough, I will say that. But that's the way he's supposed to look in the movie, so I don't really know. It looks like that's how he looks now, but maybe they did like a make under for him. I don't know, whatever. But his performance is good. He definitely feels like that kind of down and out guy who doesn't really know what the fuck he's doing with his life, hasn't had a date in a while, He does act really weird on the date, and I couldn't really understand that. Maybe it was like, this is too good to be true, or I don't know. That kind of played odd to me, but as he goes through this, you kind of just feel worse and worse for this guy. He's just kind of down on his luck, and this is just kicking him when he's down. And of course, this escalates and escalates, and fucks his life up even more and more and more. But yeah, for me, as I said, the highlight of the movie is for sure his friend who works at the liquor store with him. I found him to be extremely funny. Yeah, I mean, it's a basic, generic, a curse was put on me kind of film, or, the STD in this instance. And he's going around searching for this person to help him figure out what this is so that he can, get rid of it or deal with it. And he's unraveling the mystery going through, and people of course think he's crazy. You know how this film's mostly going to play out. But yeah, it's shot well enough. The acting's fine, the story's fine, the friend's funny. It's a fine watch. Like, if it comes on a Netflix or if it comes on a streaming service, you got nothing else to watch, it's not bad. It's not bad. It's not anything I'd rewatch. It's not anything I'm going to think about in a month, but I didn't mind my time with it. So there's nothing really else to talk about with the film. It's fairly forgettable, but not terrible. You know how you watch those movies and you're like, yeah, that was all right. I enjoyed my time with it. I won't remember it in a week, but it was all right. That's this film. That's this film. Better than I thought it was going to be, though. I thought this was going to be shit. And I did have a very funny Malcolm in the Middle joke somewhere towards the very, very end that I was pretty damn proud of. But yeah, other than that, yeah, it's all right. Let me know if you watch it. Adios.